Are you somebody who suffers with early extension, hits the ball pretty high, struggles with a two-way miss, can't quite control the face, lack compression on the golf ball? If that's you, then in this video, I'm going to talk you through what is early extension, what happens, and then give you an exercise that you can do to make sure you rid yourself of early extension forever. So, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much for dropping by. I'm filming today at Laganview Golf Centre here just outside Belfast in Northern Ireland. Pretty spectacular range to be filming at, so thank you very much to Laganview. If you are new to the channel, I'd love it if you hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you don't miss any future videos. Okay, so let's jump right in. Early extension. What is it? Early extension is when the golfer swings the club towards the golf ball. In that downswing, the pelvis moves forwards and extends towards the golf ball, giving us a position at the bottom where we lack compression, we struggle to control face, and will always result in a bit of a flip tendency at the bottom. So we can have a face that's very open and closing very quickly. It can be difficult to consistently hit the shot you want to hit. But why is it there? In my experience, early extension isn't the root cause of the problem. It's always the compensation for the problem. It's also important to understand that early extension is just that. It's just a little bit earlier than it needs to happen. When we see the best in the world, as they swing the golf club in the transition down into the downswing, their pelvis has to extend. We don't want it to extend towards the golf ball. We actually want the pelvis to extend towards the target. So when hitting some shots, we want to feel like instead of pelvis extending forwards and standing up, you see the best players in the world, what they'll do is they'll have the pelvis a little bit farther back. It will extend towards the target, so later than that early extension in the correct place. So it will extend a little bit later in that sequence. Okay, so it's important to know that it's just a little bit earlier than we need to do, but we also have to understand why is it happening. So in my experience, the main reason that people have early extension is because the club face in the downswing is very, very open. The early extension gives them something in the sequence to afford them some time to help get that open club face to square. Let me show you what it looks like. We start off with good setup. We go to the top of the backswing. In the downswing, the golf club begins to get into an open position. Now, you'll see the best players in the world. They'll stay, their chest is on top of the golf ball, the left pelvis or the lead hip turns out of the way, and they turn and they work this direction. But if my face is really open, there's no way that I can actually do that, okay? Because this is the shot I would get. So if I have that really open face, I want to turn. Shanks, open face, which we all know is not what we want. So I'm going to demonstrate how early extension is helping with that open club face. So if we put it back again in that open club face, in my experience we'll also see quite a steep shaft angle in this scenario. So the golf club is now too steep. The golf club is open and the golf club wants to move this direction in that steep angle of attack. So if a player now moves their pelvis forwards, watch what happens to the shaft of the golf club. See how the shaft begins to shallow? So if a player who had this characteristic steep shaft open face, if they didn't extend the pelvis forwards, they would be in a much worse position. So the early extension is actually the variable that they use to help shallow the golf club. Then that gives the golfer time to throw the club at the bottom, square the club, and have that bit of a flip tendency at the bottom. But the early extension is actually there helping that player. So we have to understand that in order to take the early extension out, we first must fix the angle of the face and the angle of the shaft. So how that differs. If I was to get the golf club in a position where it is shallower, okay, so the shaft isn't as steep, the face is not as open, the golf club feels like the face points a little more down towards the ground. So I'm getting my hands, I'm getting my right palm, and I'm turning the right palm to feel like it's more on top of the grip. The shaft is in a shallower position, the face is stronger, and if I was to swing down to the golf ball from here, you can see how I can keep my pelvis back and I can square that face, as opposed to the steep face open, where the face gets here. So you can see how much easier it will be to collect the golf ball with the face in the correct angle, shaft in the correct angle. I can keep my pelvis back and extend a little bit later. I don't need the compensation because things before that are already in the correct order. So that's crucial that you understand. I see too many people come to me trying to fix an early extension and making it worse because they didn't quite understand early extension was actually their friend. It was helping them hit a good golf shot. It was not the thing to take out. It was fixing things before in order to remove that early extension. Tricky one, it is. We see it a lot as golf coaches, but hopefully that helps you better understand why it's happening. Okay, so a drill is going to help you fix your early extension. Now remember, it's important for us to really make sure we spend some time putting the club in the appropriate position with the right pitch of shaft, not too steep, face not too open, face stronger. That's going to help the body organize itself differently and keep the pelvis back a little bit longer, extend at the right point. But when it comes to hitting some golf balls, try this next time you're at the range. Get your alignment stick, get your range basket, and I've got this positioned around about 1 foot target side of the golf ball. You can see that I'm approximately 1 foot outside the golf ball. The objective for this will be, think about an early extender, what they do. As they swing down to the golf ball, pelvis is moving forwards, so we're going to have the shaft quite vertical on the way through with a lot of rotation of the face. We're saying that can we get the shaft, which is set up at the same angle of the shaft at address? Could I make some swings where the golf club is better in the downswing and just work it back underneath? Now you can see I would have to keep my pelvis back in order to do so. I couldn't move forwards, steepening the shaft and hitting that. So I want you to do this pretty slow to begin with. I want you to have this in such a way that you make multiple reps. This is going to go 50, 60 yards, and I do mean that, okay? Don't hit it too far. Let's hope that I don't mess it up. Working through. Now what am I doing? I'm trying to make sure I'm not setting the shaft steep with the face open. I'm actually trying to sense the face's right hand's more on top, club's more behind, shaft feels more this way as opposed to this way. I'm trying to see if I got, how does the body work on the way through. One little thing I like to think of when I do this is to say that from address position, my left hip joint is a certain distance from the golf ball. Let's say it's 4 feet. When I get back to impact, I want to have that left hip farther away from the golf ball at the moment of impact. Obviously not closer, because that's going to give me some issues here after the golf ball. So if I can make some practice swings, feeling the golf club more here, get the left hip feeling like it's farther from the golf ball as I collect it. I just want you to hit a little small shot, 50, 60 yards. Check out in the right place. Slightly thin, but I didn't hit the stick, so it's a good sign for me. So that's a really good thing to do. I can't stress how important it is to do this at slow speeds. Do not do it too fast because you will end up with the stick halfway down the range and lots of people looking at you. So try to do it really slow, and hopefully this has helped you understand early extension, why it happens, why it's there in the first place, what it is, and best of all, you've got a way to go to the driving range, hit some golf balls, do this in the back garden, make some dry swings without some golf balls. You will get better at this, but it's imperative the golf club's in the right place to begin with. If it's here and here, remember, early extension needs to happen to save the shot. So, as always, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, don't be afraid to hit a like, drop a comment below, any questions, any feedback for me, want me to clarify anything. Hit that bell so you don't miss any future videos, and if you like, share it with your friends. Really appreciate you, and thank you for watching.